We are going to look at what happened throughout the week and see how we can get some information that will help us in the coming week. And we're also going to look at some corporate disclosure and look at some timely gainers and see if they can still go up. If that potential is there, we are going to see how we can take advantage of it. So without wasting time, my name still remains Investor Joe, and you are welcome to the Financial Edge, where we teach you how to get financial freedom through trade and investment. So guys, let's move straight into today's video. So the first thing I want to show you is the NGS weekly report. So we have a total turnover of 2.4 billion shares worth 55 billion naira in 80,988 Ds was traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 3 billion shares value at 98 that exchange earned last week in 72 deals. So if you look at this information now, you don't have anybody, you don't need to be told that something is actually going on. What is going on? You see that we have more volume. We have more volume. This, let's see if, okay, let's just reduce it a bit. So we have more volume this last week. So almost 81,000 deals compared to 72 deals. So that's a huge difference. And if we look at the value actually decreased because it was 98 compared to 55. So despite the fact that there is more volume, the value is not actually much based on these two data. And if you look at the turnover also, we have 2.4 billion compared to that of last week. So we actually have more activities, but in terms of value, it's not actually much. So the financial services industry measured by volume led the activity chart with 1.398 billion shares value at 24 billion, traded in 31,901 deals. These contributed 57% and 43% to the total equity turnover volume and value respectively. So that is for the financial industry. So we are looking at the banks, we are looking at the brokerage house like UCAP, we are looking at AfriProud. So these guys actually did good volume. So from what you can see they contributed almost or more than 57% compared to what was done in the previous time. So they're actually contributing 54%, 57% and 43% to total equity turnover. That is talking about volume and value respectively. So volume, they have 57%, while value, they have 43%. So the next that actually did well again last week is the service industry, followed with 247 million shares worth 1.16 billion in 6,277 Ds, while the third place was in the consumer goods. So this gives us insight on where money is going now. So you can see from last week, money is going to financials and into service industry, followed by consumer goods, with a turnover of 153 million shares worth 3.9 billion in 8,405 deals. So they have a deals of 8,000 here, while that of service has a deal of 6,000, and that of the financial services actually had a deal of 31,000. So you see, these are the areas that money is flowing. So this is where we're going to pay attention, and you need to know goods that are in this area. So looking at the service charge, the financial services, which is the banking industry. Of course, it's no news that the CBN is trying to increase charges from ATM. And if that happens, we all know that is where money will be going. So the prices you are seeing today are child's play compared to what is going to happen in the future. So in the future, you might see Zenith Bank, Jitco, those guys should be selling above 100 naira long term. So I'm not saying it's going to happen now, but from what we are seeing now, it means there will be increased revenue and there will be increased profit because of the charges that they decide to be taking. So trading in the top 3 equities. So the top 3 equities that actually made it because of volume and value is actually Sterling Financial Holdings Company PLC, followed by Access Holdings and Secure Electronic Technology PLC. So that's measured by volume, accounted for 455 million shares worth 5.2 billion in 6,654 deals, contributing 18% and 9% to the total equity turnover volume and value respectively. So these are the guys that actually made good volume last week. So you want to look at secure electronic technology also is another one to pay attention to. And if we look at the turnover in the last 5 days, so you see that on the 10th of February, we actually had a high volume, followed by on the 11th, but the volume actually decreased on the 12th, on the 13th, and a little bit of increase on the 14th. Of course, you know it's Valentine, so a lot of people actually cash out, and a lot of people didn't actually do much because a lot of people had engagement to honor. So that is one of the reasons why this volume are like this, because on a norm, if Monday can give us this volume, we should see volume increasing, not decreasing. But despite the fact that volume is actually increasing or decreasing, let's look at the turnover value. So from turnover value, you see that Monday we had 10 billion, and Tuesday we had 11 billion, Wednesday we had 10 billion, and Thursday we have 9 billion. You can imagine on 14th that the transaction wasn't much, that the volume wasn't much. That was when we had a value of 13.9 billion, which is huge. And if you look at the traded stocks, for Monday we have 127 stocks that are active. We have 125 for Tuesday. We also have 128 for Wednesday, and we have 124 for Thursday, and for Friday we have 125. So stocks that actually advance in this last week were actually 44 for Monday, and 40 for Tuesday, 41 for Wednesday, and 35 for Thursday. And for Friday we actually had some uptick, which moved from 35 to 38. So we had 38. So stocks that actually declined were 25 Monday, 25 Tuesday, 16 stocks declined on Wednesday, and 25 stocks declined on Thursday. And on Friday, 28 stocks actually declined. And stocks that remain unchanged were actually 58 for Monday, 60 for Tuesday, and 61 for Wednesday, and 64 for Thursday, and 59 for Friday. So if we look at the distribution of quantity traded, you want to see where the money is actually going to. So you can see majority of it, which you've explained in the previous information that I read to you. You see that the financial services actually covered 58%. When you round up the number I showed you, it covers 58%, and followed by others. Others took this area here, but the key ones are services. Services took 10%, and we have consumer goods that took 6%. So all this gives you insight that these are the two areas we are to watch in this week that is coming. So we are to watch the financial services, because any moment from now we might be seeing audited report and also corporate disclosure. So if you look at the service area, also is another key area to pay attention to, and also the consumer goods is one area we also want to pay attention to. So that's what this pie chart is actually showing us. So let's move to another report, which is weekly report. That's ATP. So a total of 48,850 unit value at 19.310 million were traded this week in 95 deals, compared with a total of 53 unit value at 5.104 million transacted last week in 58 deals. So we've seen the insight that this week actually had a good volume, despite the fact that units is a bit low, but the value is kind of high. So that gives us that something is actually going on well. So these are the areas we pay attention to. So we have securities that are actually made up of this number. So we have Stanbic ETFs 30, we have VetGrief 30, we have Magrowth, Mavalue, VatBank, VatGoods. So we have a whole lot of these ETFs that are traded, and you can see the deals. From this, you see that the most active is actually Stanbic ETFs, and the volume also is outstanding. And same with the, not exactly with the value. Yes, no, not exactly the value, because we have New Gold actually traded high also. So this is a total of 19 million, and the deals total is 48, and we have 95 deals total. So if we look at the bond market also, a total of 77,290 unit value at 70 million were traded this week in 47 deals, compared with a total of 37,219 unit value at 28.7 million transacted last week in 42 deals. So these are FGN Sukuk. You see the different deals and the volume, and you see the value, and you see the total. So we have 70 million, and while the volume is 77, and the deals is actually 47. So let's look at the index movement. So the NGS All Share Index and the market capitalization appreciated by 2% and 2.7% respectively to close the week at 108,553.95 points, and these values to 67.418 trillion respectively. So the market cap is 67.418 trillion, and the all share index is actually 108,5395 points. So similarly, all other indices finish higher, with the exception of NGS Mainboard. NGS Mainboard didn't finish higher. NGS Banking, NGS Afribank Value, NGS Afri David, and NGS Mary Growth. These are the stocks that these are the ETFs that in this. These are the indices that we looked at here. So I'm not here, this area here. So some of them are here. So those are what we are. We have NGS Consumer Goods and NGS Oil and Gas, which appreciated by 0.79 and 0.24 and 0.39 and 1.26, 1.03%, 3.63%, and 2.30% respectively, while the NGS Sovereign Bond Index closed flat. So these are some few information you also need to know. So these are some of the indices that we just walk you through. So these are all share index. You can see the close for the week, you can see the numbers, and you can see the change. So this is year to date, this is quarter to date, this is month to date, and this is week to date. So these are the weekly change that we witnessed so far from all of these. So you can see what we witnessed here was actually to 3.4%. So we have a lot of indices here. You can look at some. That's the main board index. We have the NGS 30, we have the NGS CG index, we have the premium index, banking index, pension index, insurance index, ASEM index, AFRO bank value index, AFRO David index, Mary growth index, we have Mary value index, we have consumer goods index, oil and gas index, Lotus 2. We also have industrial goods index. We have a whole lot of them. So looking at the NGS and the NG, looking at the all share index and the NGS 30, you can see their performance last week. So if you look at that of all share index compare with that of NGS 30, you will see that they actually mimic their movement, but the NGS 30 is actually higher. It's still leading the NGS, it's still leading the all share index, and you can see very well. We'll see a little dip here, and maybe we'll see another bounce back next week. So this just gives us the overall movement of the all share index and the NGS 30. That is what we have right in front of us. So let's look at the summary of price changes. So 65 equities appreciated in price during the week, higher than 58 equities in the previous week. So you can see the difference now. So we have more stocks going up because the all share index has actually broken resistance. So we are going to talk about this. I just want to check, and this is it. So the all share index has, you can see the all share index has actually broken this major resistance here, and what we are seeing now is creating a higher high. So that is the all share index for you. So that is why you see that we have 65 stocks actually appreciated. So we also have 58 equities in the previous week, and we have 31 equities depreciated in price, and lower 34 in price, and lower 34 in the previous week. So you can see we have numbers. Last week we have 34, and this week we have 31. So in the previous week, while 54 equities remain unchanged, lower than the 58. So you can see, that the market is actually improving. More volume is actually coming in. So let's look at the top gainers for the week. So one of the top gainers for the week is actually Honeywell. So Honeywell is part of the consumer goods, and Honeywell has actually started its movement when it was 4. So for those of us who bought at 4, I want to wish you a huge congratulations, because you must have made some money. And those of us who actually took some profit, congratulations. All profit is profit. In business, as long as you're not losing, I think the business will be a good one. So you can see how the market fare. The market opened last week for Honeywell at 9, and it closed at 14. And UPDC also opened 259, and currently it closed as 3.78. It gained 1.19 naira. That is 45%. And Honeywell, which is the best performing stock, actually gained 4 naira 48 kobo, which gains 47%. And we have VFD Group, which I also showed this in my previous video for you guys who are following me to actually take position. And you can see right now it moves from 44 to 58. That is 13.60 kobo. That is 13 naira 60 kobo, and that is a 30% jump for last week. We also have Smart Product Nigeria. It moved from 20 to 26, which is like a 30%. We also have SUNU Assurance Nigeria PLC, which moved from 5 naira to 6.41, which is 1 naira 40 kobo. That is a 27.94%. Another huge one that actually did well also is the Ikeja Hotel. Ikeja Hotel actually opened the week from 11 naira 25 kobo. It jumped to 14 naira, which is a gain of 2 naira 75 kobo, and that amounts to 24.44%. We also have Eternal Oil. Eternal Oil did its thing from 36 naira 65 kobo. It jumped to 45 naira, which is a 88 naira 35 kobo jump, which amounts to 22%. We look at DANGCEMENT also. DANGCEMENT jumped from 394%, and it jumped to 480, which is a 80 naira gain, which is like a 21.83%. So we also have MULTIVERSE. MULTIVERSE jumped from 905. This is 9 naira 5 kobo, and it jumped to 10 naira 90 kobo, which is a 1 naira 85 kobo jump, which is a 20% jump. That is 20.44%. We also have Consolidated All Mark Holdings, which opened the week from 3 naira 4 kobo, and it jumped to close at 3 naira 65 kobo, which is also a gain of 61 kobo, and that amounts to 20.07%. So these are the top gainers for the week, and by the time we look at the top decliners, we'll come back to top gainers and pick 5 of it and look at the chart and see those who are in. You see what you need to wait, where you need to exit, and those who are yet to take position in all these stocks, you will see where you can actually go in as we wait for pullback. So but before we move on, if you are enjoying this video, don't forget to give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that we will come as family and make this money in the stock market. I'm very, very sure you're going to get value in all the content you are going to watch. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I post enriching videos like this, so that we'll make money together. Let's move to the 10 price decliners. So we have DAARCOM, which is DAAR Communication. It opened the week at 81 kobo, but actually it closed the week at 70 kobo and gave up a gain of 11 kobo, and that amounts to minus 13.58%. When we have International Energy Insurance, which opened the week for 2 naira 50 kobo and actually closed at 2 naira 23, it gave up gain of 27 kobo, and that gives a negative return of 10.80%. We also have BUAFood. BUAFood is actually doing well, opened the week at 415 naira to close the week at 373 naira 50 kobo, which amount to a negative 41 naira 50 kobo. That gives us 10% decrease. We also have Golden Guinea Brewery, which actually opened the week at 7 naira 87 kobo and closed the week at 7 naira 9 kobo, which is a total loss of 78 kobo, which amounts to 9.91%. We also have UNISELL Interlinked PLC, which opened at 13.34 to close at 12.05 and gave up a gain of 1 naira 29 kobo, which is 9.6, which gives a negative 9.67% return. We also have another one, which is Julius Berger. Julius Berger opened the week at 139.880 kobo and also closed the week at 128 naira, which is a total loss of 11 naira 80 kobo, which amounts to negative 8.44%. We also have Deep Cap Management and Trust PLC that opened the week at 1 naira 9 kobo and closed the week at 1 naira, which gave up gains of 9 kobo with a negative return of 8.26%. We also have FTN Cocoa Processor PLC, which opened the week at 1 naira 87 kobo and closed the week at 1 naira 73 kobo, which gave up gains of 14 kobo and with a negative return of 7 naira 49 kobo. We also have Coronation Insurance, which opened the week at 2 naira 64 and closed the week at 2 naira 45, which is a negative 7.20%. Give up a gain of 90 kobo. We also have Guinea Insurance. Guinea Insurance opened the week at 85 kobo and actually closed the week at 79 kobo. Give up gains of 6 kobo and closed it in percentage terms of 7.06%. So these are the major information I want to push across to you guys. And you can see price adjustment. We have Vitafoam Nigerian PLC. Closure date was actually on the 10th of February, and the last price was 37.25, and the dividend announced was actually 1 naira 5 kobo, and the ex-dividend price was 36 naira 20 kobo. That is if you deduct the dividend out of it. So Transcom Power also is the closure date was actually 12th of February, and the last close price was 349 naira 80 kobo, and the dividend of 3 naira 50 kobo, and the bonus, no bonus, and the markdown price will become 346.30 kobo. So these are some of the informations I want to share. So before we go for the listing price in terms of Zenith Bank, I want us to look at the top gainers for the week. Let's look at Oniflow. And before we look at Oniflow, let's just look at a brief summary. You know, I told you guys that the all-share index actually broke this resistance level. This area is actually a major resistance so far. And this happened also when the president said subsidy is gone around this area. And that was when we actually got this push to this point before we got some resistance. And we've been ranging for more than a year. We started ranging from here and we got to this part, which is more than a year. So because of this ranging, we are expecting that this push will actually be very, very strong. And you know, as this all-share index continue to print more numbers, because now we are at the all-time high, the beautiful thing about all-time high is it is very, very difficult to predict when it's going to turn around. So as it is now, we will continue to ride this and ensure you lock in your profit, and fix your money, because this bull run will not continue like this forever. So you want to make opportunity, you want to take charge of opportunity now that you are enjoying it. So don't forget to always take profit. So this is the time you want to see what you can make from the first quarter. And in case you're watching me and you don't have a trading account, you can reach out to me. I will set up a trading account for you where you can buy and sell Nigerian stocks irrespective of where you live and make money as we do in this channel. So that is one information I want to pass before we go to the top gainers. So let's quickly jump to the top gainers. One of them I want us to look at is actually Honeywell. Another one we want to pay attention to because it's part of the top gainers. So this is a pullback. If you've been following my channel, I actually encourage us to load in this region. For those who load, congratulations. And those who miss it, don't worry. Opportunity abounds in the market. There is no regret. Whatever you miss is going to multiply itself in your future to come back to you and you realize your gain. But the beautiful thing is you have to learn, because it's when you learn you're able to recognize the opportunity when it comes again. So another area we want to put area here is for, we're expecting a support in case the stock decide to dip. We're expecting a support here, and if we actually want to predict when this guy is going to come back, we'll come here and pick here. This is not what I want, so let's go and check our fib2. So this should be our fib2. So we'll come here, and this is the recent low. We'll pick it from recent low, and we'll come to this part and we'll drop it here, and our 50% retracement will be around 1165. So if at all we want to wait for a pullback, we'll be looking at this area, and another area to look out for again is 1255. So these are two key areas we want to pay attention to. Or you wait for it to come to this part again and see if it's going to bounce, because I doubt if it's going to break it. So if it's going to bounce, we'll continue to ride it. So this is just a brief analysis based on chart on how UNISELL is currently doing. So if you've been familiar with my content, I won't advise you to buy at the top, because the rule of the game is to buy low and sell high. So if you are buying high, you actually want to sell higher, and that is when there is huge volume in the market. So let's look at another one. Another one is UPDC. So if you are not new in the market, you know that the real estate industry is actually booming, and those of us who are not sleeping, we should know that this is one area you want to pay attention to, and this is UPDC for you. And let's look at UPDC. So this is UPDC, and as you can see, one of the challenge for anybody who is doing chart analysis and anybody who is doing fundamental analysis is the fact that sometimes when a stock is above or is overvalued, it is difficult for you to actually recommend it for somebody to buy, and it is difficult for you to allow those who are invested in it to keep holding their money. It's very, very challenging. Same with chart. Once you are using chart and the price is currently at all-time high, it is very, very difficult for you to advise anybody to actually buy, because you know we only buy pullback and we sell all-time high. So how to do that is just a simple trick. You just have to watch your chart and be patient. Be patient. It is only patient people that actually make money. So be patient. So be patient in the market. Don't jump. I know sometimes you must have missed out in some stocks and you're wondering and you want to actually jump in. And the truth is, after a major breakout here, it is the best time to buy, you know, but that is when you are doing buying high to sell higher. So that is when you want to jump in here, and sometimes it can actually wound you. What I mean is it can actually pull back and you have some losses. But the truth is, this area here will actually serve as a resistance. So you see, this was resistant, and it broke through this resistance, which is the fourth resistance. And now if it's coming back, we're expecting this area to serve as a support, as a new support. That is resistance turn support because of the price appreciation. So if we want to look how far this stock will actually go, we can actually pull the fib2. If we pull the fib2 here, we want to take from recent high to recent low here. So if we do that, we'll be looking at 5 naira for the first price target to achieve. We're looking at 5 naira, UPDC hitting 5 naira before we'll consider UPDC doing 7 naira. But we need to also check the fundamentals, and which I don't want this video to be too long. But with these, I think if you are not here when I actually talked about it, for those in my community, I actually gave them when it was below 2, which was I think 1 naira 40. I did a lot of video concerning it. And if you don't buy at that point, I wouldn't want you to go in now, so that you will not become a storyteller. You know those people that will tell you they bought a particular stock at one huge price. In fact, you have to go and do research to know if the price has gotten to that place. So I don't want you to be a storyteller. Pay attention. There is always opportunity in the market. So don't just jump and go in. So we are just looking at stocks that are doing well. So another one that is actually doing well, so is VFD. VFD is another one that is actually doing well, because if we look at, let's look at weekly. So if you look at weekly, you see that VFD is actually at the all-time high. And you know, I've told you guys that the all-time high is a place that you cannot even predict how far the price will go. So this is it here. Last week, I think it got to 63. It got to 63, which is around this area here, before the pullback. but it was not printed here on the chart. So, and that tells you that a lot of people who bought early are actually taking profit. So those who are buying now at that 63, those who bought at 63 and those who are buying at 58, what is their target? They are looking at 70, 80, 100. So that tells you that a lot of buying interest will still come, because if you look at the earnings of this company, they're actually doing well. They have an EPS of 8 naira 22 kobo, and they also have a profit of more than 10 billion naira, and that is huge, guys. And this is why the stock is actually gaining some traction. And don't forget that this stock is very unique. I think they did reconstruction few months or last year, and that is why you see the price, and it's not too liquid. That's another reason why the stock will actually do well long time, because if you look at such a profit, you know that the company is going to do well. So all we need is to get a confirmation from the first quarter that they are actually keeping track, they are actually growing as expected. So that is VFD for you. So let's quickly look at the smart products Nigeria. I think this should be in another. It shouldn't. Let's see smart product. Let's see if it is here. Oh, great! It is even here. So let's check. That's SMURFIT. So SMURFIT is here and it has gained 26. So I thought it's on NASD. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Fantastic. So let's look at the monthly chart. So this is great. I think there's a huge opportunity here. Even though I've not checked their fundamental, but in terms of chart, I think there is a huge opportunity here, and SMURFIT is just breaking out right now. It's just breaking out right now. So you can see this is just a breakout. It's just breaking out right now. So this is another area to pay attention to. But I'll look at the fundamentals and communicate same to my community members. So let's look at the next one. Is I think is SUNU. Let's look at SUNU Insurance. SUNU Insurance actually did well, 640. So you can see these guys has been going up every time, all-time high. So SUNU Insurance from chart-wise, I think this is still presenting a buy opportunity. Still trying to break through, yeah. Still trying to break through, yeah. So I think this is a breakout, pullback, and we have some bounce, few resistance here, another resistance here, and we might also have another resistance here also. But I think even though we have another resistance, it will be for accumulation purpose. So this is the number 5 of it, and we want to just look at 5 of them. Except we just look at anyone that is actually huge. So let's look at DANGCEMENT, and we move to the decliners to see if there is any opportunity for those that are actually declining. So this is DANGCEMENT. So DANGCEMENT is one that has locked people for long. So a lot of people we want to get out from here. So I think there's information about this. They are establishing a plant at Ethiopia. Yes, they're establishing a plant at Ethiopia. So I think with that expansion, that will actually make add value to shareholders. And if you look, the all-time high has been 767 and 700. So if you can see, there is possibility of this getting to 800, and that will give you a nice gain. So I'm just looking at in terms of long term. So if you look at the monthly chart, because that expansion means that there's a lot of investment that will go into that, and also there is a huge potential for it. So you can see it here now. You can see the opportunity around this area. So let's just put some supply and demand area here for future, so that when the price hits there, we'll know that we are actually doing well. So this is it here. So most of these stocks are stocks that you're supposed to be in for a long time, not now. You know, when you are going in now, except you want to stay there for a while, even though when it dips, you want to buy more, except you have a huge cash flow. You know, some people don't have cash flow. The only money they have is what they bring to the market, and any little time that the money is trapped, they just suddenly become a storyteller, and some of them don't even check their account again. They'll just be frustrated. So if you want to make money, you have to build your mind to be able to withstand all these little deep that present opportunity to us. So this is DANGCEMENT, and if I want to pick another one from there, we'll look at MULTIVERSE. I think MULTIVERSE is another one to pay attention to. MULTIVERSE is currently breaking out. Let's look at weekly. So MULTIVERSE is currently breaking out also. MULTIVERSE has done 24 again, and we are expecting it to go and break that all-time high again. So if we look at this area that has been like a resistance, so to speak, we'll be expecting a breakout from here. And I think the monthly chart will give us a proper view. So this is it. So we are expecting, this is a V-shaped recovery right now. So we're expecting a huge gain in the market, because these are only guys that are into mining: MULTIVERSE, Japan Gold, and MULTIVERSE, yes, and Japan Gold. I think that's the only two that we have. So let's quickly jump to the decliners and see if there's any opportunity. So DAARCOM, I think DAARCOM at the time actually did some good numbers before we see pullback. So DAARCOM is still actually, let's see if weekly charts will give us. Okay, let's look at daily. Fantastic. So if you look at DAARCOM right now, I think we are at the position. Let's look at 3 days. Oh, we don't have 3 days. So let's look at weekly. Okay, so this is weekly chart. From this weekly chart right now, we'll see that we are currently testing this area again. So if you are a trader, I think you should know what to do. These are some penny stock. It's very, very challenging advising the general public concerning penny. So it's something that if you've been following us in our group, you already know how to do such a trade. So let's look at another one. Is international energy insurance. So let's look at international energy insurance. This guy are giving up their gains. So this is it. It's currently experiencing is a bit of pullback, and which is cool because it's coming to an area where it actually had to break through the all-time high. So the all-time high has been 250, which the stock actually hit and then pull back. So in other words, another pullback will be a buying opportunity for this stock. For those of us who are small traders, who are not trading with much, because this stock is not actually too liquid. So maybe 100K to a million, you can actually come here and test the waters with that. So because with that, any dip you can average down massively and plan your exit strategy. So let's look at the number two. The number two is actually Boa Food. So Boa Food is one stock that has been going high, has been going up for a long time, and I think so any pullback is necessary because so this is Boa Food for you. But you see that the stock has actually been going up. So this pullback I think is normal, and for this chart it's not properly moving up, but it's still above the 20-day moving average. So I think investors should hold if you are still having this particular stock, and those who are not having should maybe wait for maybe another pullback to see if they can take advantage of it. So the next one we'll look at is Golden Guinea Brewery. Let's see, Golden. It's another one. From our charts, we'll still at all-time high. So this is a normal drop, and if we want to use our fib to get, this is recent low, and we'll bring it here. So our 50% will give us, so we'll be looking at 626 to load for another run again. So that if you are a trader, but if you're a long-time investor, I think you have to wait a while, or you have to go in and any dip you want to you want to average them. But I think it's better you just wait and see how you can take some few percentage. So the last one is UNISELL Interlink. Of course, if you've been following that stock, you know that the stock has actually been doing some good numbers. Like, it has been going up every day. You see, today now is 12. So that's gone into 20. Yes, to 20, and now it's 12, which I think if we look at the FIB2, if we come to recent low and if we take it to recent high, I think we are approaching 1105. We are approaching 1105, which would be a reasonable place to start to load again for those who are interested or who missed out in the run. So that would be another good one. So let's look at, I think we are done. So we are done, except we want to look at, let's look at Guinea Insurance. Let's look at Guinea Insurance before we call it a day. So this is Guinea Insurance. So I think this is still another good area. So if you look at the daily, so this is another interesting area to actually load again, because if we want to look at the FIB2, I think this area will be another area I want to pay attention to. So guys, this video is taking much time, but I think the informations are valuable and it will help you for your trade on Monday and throughout the week, as we continue to meet every weekend like this to look at the market update and see how the market is currently doing. So if you want to look at let's look at this report. I think this is what we want to. So Zenith Bank. So listing of Zenith Bank PLC hybrid offer arising from the right issue of 5 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 36. So those who actually bought the right issue are in money, and if you've seen your own shares, I think it's worth celebrating. So you actually bought at 36, which is around this area. So you bought at 36. So if you want to measure it, you bought at 36. Okay, let's just assume this is it. So 36 and 40%, which is not bad. I think it's a good one. So from this, you've actually learned to take advantage of right issue because of our market. So, and you can see 36 kobo per share and offer for subscription of 4.4 billion arising from a public offer of 2.7 ordinary shares at 50 kobo each at 36.50 per share. So I think they didn't get enough, so they needed more. So trading license holder are hereby notified that additional 9.6 billion shares at these, each kobo of these were on Monday, February 10th, listed on the daily official list of the Nigerian exchange. So that is why you see everything is going up. The all share index is improving because of additional shares. So the additional shares listed at the NGS arose from Zenith hybrid offer of right issue of these. The right issue was 100% subscribed. Fantastic, and congratulations. An offer for subscription of 4.4 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at this per share, and the public offer was 160.47% subscribed. With this listing of additional 9.67 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, the total issued and fully paid up shares of Zenith Bank has now increased from 31 to 41. So the outstanding shares of Zenith Bank is now 31 billion shares. So guys, thank you so much for paying attention, and thank you so much for following my YouTube channel. I really appreciate, and let me know if there's anything I'm missing out, and let me know if there's something you want me to add in this weekly market analysis that we are going to be doing. So let me know so that we'll improve and we'll get sufficient knowledge to be able to enter the market the new week, and we'll enter with confidence and make more money. So let me know in the comment section so that I'll improve and we'll get going together. So thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel, and thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate. So my name still remains Investor Joe. Until we see again, keep making money without tears and keep impacting your community. I to Ed salute. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.